Welcome back to WDRB Media, the voice of the community. Today, my guest, again, is Corbin Thomas, if you just tuned in, and he is the CEO and founder of Premier Home Improvement. We've been talking about some of the projects he's done, how he hires, how he's going to change things in 2018 by doing some more online presence. We touched on the question, didn't really answer the question a whole lot, so we're going to go back to that for a second and also talk about some of his favorite customers. Because obviously, as an owner of a business, what keeps you going is definitely the customers, your favorite customers, the people you just love working for. So let's start with that first, and we'll go back to the online presence and what's kind of pushing you to, even though you've been primarily a word-of-mouth business, that understanding people may start searching for you, want to be able to find you if they don't have a friend that has used you.
Sure.
So let's talk about some of your favorite customers, because that has been the bread and butter of your family's business for 7 generations, and you continue that same pace. Obviously, your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents taught you the importance of doing the job and doing it right. And I'm sure there's a fair share of you that have hired contractors or home improvement people that haven't done a very good job. And then we blow them up on social media just to make ourselves feel a little better. So it's good to know there's someone in the Charlotte market that does a great job. Do you travel outside Charlotte?
Yeah, we do Lake Norman, Lake Wiley, Monroe, about an hour ride from anywhere around South Charlotte.
Okay. So as long as within an hour radius, you could be a Premier Home Improvement customer. So if you're listening and you're looking to have some home improvements done, let's talk about your favorite customer. What makes that customer your favorite customer and keeps you going day in and day out?
That's a tough one. When you say favorite customer, there's a lot of customers.
Favorite job that made it your favorite customer?
Yeah, I would.
Be creative or something really unique or a unique project.
That's what really I think it makes them my favorite. When the people are just really like eccentric, unique individuals that are just really fun to know. You know, like when you get to know someone and you're just like, wow, that's a really neat person. You know, like those people, and then they want something usually that's like really artistic and creative, and so it gives me like artistic expression to build something totally from scratch. Like I had a guy that wanted a guy named Landon, super great customer, just a nice guy all the way around, wanted me to build him a custom fireplace.
Okay.
And outdoor fireplace. And it was, he said, I want it to be 8 feet wide, and I want the shoulders to be square, and I want a place up top where my wife can set flowers. And he kind of showed me some pictures online, what he had in mind, and just totally let me build it just completely whatever I thought would look good. And it ended up looking fantastic. I made it match the bar that was pre-existing already out there. And I mean, it was just a lot of fun. You know, it was a learning experience, and was just really, it turned out to be really fantastic. That was a fun job. I did a job for a lady and just ended up making friends with her. Did a kitchen remodel for her, did a bunch of beadboard and granite and backsplash and stuff. And we still reach out and talk to each other every now and then. I talk to her on New Year's. She's just a lot of fun to have met. You get to meet a lot of really neat people, and that's something pretty cool. And then you have a lot of artistic expression to be able to do something custom for somebody that's, nobody else in the world has it because, it's custom. It's a lot of fun.
It helps that house stand out from the other neighborhood houses.
Sure.
So many houses are cookie cutters nowadays.
That's true.
And
very true.
It's nice when you go in and do a remodel for them. It helps make their house unique and different. If they do resell at some point, it becomes that unique component of their house. None of the houses in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
We're trying to do comparisons to other houses.
Sure.
That's something that helps their house stand out.
Yeah, and it helps the value of their house, so it's not just like fixing up a car with a body kit and you throw the money out the window pretty much. It's, you're building an asset. So, the money's not lost either. When they go to sell the house and they have a travertine tile shower and, this crazy deck we built on the back of their house and all these new windows, it accounts for something, right. So they get their money back. So it's building for somebody else's future. It's fun.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now we're going to throw Corbin on the bus for a brief second because this is the fun part of my show. And we talked about it before we hit the air, is everyone has a honey-do list, right? So Corbin's going to share with us something that's on his wife's honey-do list that hasn't been done yet, and maybe even share something that you did to your house that's really amazing that more people should do to their house that you recommend. So what do you think?
We're all about functionality. I'm
going to bring his wife into this honest answer. We'll get the truth to come out at some point.
We're all about functionality. So if it's everything we have in our house is something that we use. Okay. And if we don't use it, then we get rid of it. And so we have a very, not almost minimalist, but I have a lot of tools in the house. And so that's on the honey-do list.
Imagine that.
Get all my tools out of the living room, clean them up, put them back in the office with all the rest of the tools, and get everything straightened out. Something she and I had talked about. We're getting rid of we have a pool table and a couch and a love seat and a TV, like the living room area. And I think that we are going to get rid of all of that and put like a gym floor down and put wire shelving against one wall, and we're going to have like a big gym where we can work out, because they opened the new Lifetime and it's like $130 a month, which is pretty high. And she has to drive a half an hour to get to her gym. And so we're going to do a little more working out in our own house, which is, it's practical because you don't have to drive anywhere. You can save money on the gym membership.
Sure.
It gives you no excuses,
Sure.
and so just get all my tools straightened up. It's pretty much, they're everywhere.
So that's in the upcoming, maybe 2018-19 timeframe. What have you done in the past to the house? How long have you been in the house you're in now?
3 years.
3 years. So what in the last 3 years have you done to the house that's really made it, that you look back on now and say, I'm really glad we made that modification, that change?
Not a lot. This is a condo that we're actually renting. We're getting ready to buy some property over towards Lancaster County and build a house.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're kind of geared up, completely planning on...
Those that build a house are shaking their heads right now. I can see you through the radio. It's like, oh boy, wait till you start building a house.
It's going to be
it's a journey, but at the same time, you get exactly what you want.
Yeah, exactly. And we're looking into all kinds of different building. There's a lot of building that, like, around the southeast of the United States, they typically pour a pad or they have a crawl space and they build with 2x4s, put brick or a weatherproof material on the outside, drywall on the inside, wires in the middle, and that's how they build houses. In the northwest, or like the central west part of the United States, they build them with concrete. They pour forms, and then there's other types of building that's, coming up on the horizon that are a lot more efficient, using stuff off the land, like Cobb-style building or rammed earth housing. So there are a lot better insulation factors there, and they're a ton cheaper. So we're looking into doing something like that. That's
the question I would have next is that since you are so handy, you have this skill set, how much of the house could you build yourself? How much would you have to contract out?
I'm going to build it.
You're going to build it?
In entirety.
You and your family, or just you? Or?
No, just me. My dad's a commercial construction company. He does earth moving and pipe and storm drain and sewer.
Your team and your dad's teams can do it.
Yeah,
start to finish.
I was just distinguishing there. My father doesn't do home improvement. My grandfather did. He has a commercial construction company, but we all do construction of one form or another. I'll have to have an electrician and a plumber sign off on the electricity and the plumbing parts, and I'll have to satisfy all the different parts of the code and the permit and whatnot with different steps along the way. But we plan on doing most of the building ourselves.
Okay, that's exciting.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah. What's the time frame for building a house?
I'd like to have the walls up before the end of the year, where we could, have somewhere to lay your head with running water, and then you can worry about the distinguishing details on the inside, as time passes.
Okay. So I'm going to ask a question I think is really crucial. When you're building a house, right? You look at all these different floor plans, all these different options. How do you filter out the must-haves and the I can do it later? So if you had to kind of create a list of top 5 things my house is going to have that I build, what are those top 5 things?
I guess you make a list. What do I need?
What do you prioritize?
I
think a lot of people buy a house and they're like, oh, well, I'm not handy, so I'm going to go ahead and have them do the screen and porch now.
Right.
Where they're paying 2 to 3 times more because the builder's doing it. People are thinking about the outdoor entertainment center with the fireplaces and the grills and so on and so forth. So those are listening that are in the process of or thinking about buying a house. I think this is an important note to listen to.
Sure.
Because you know what you can get later at a lot less expense.
Yeah.
Versus go ahead and do it now, throw in your mortgage for 30 years. You're not really paying that much for it anyway when you look at it for a 30-year long period of time. And also, I think how long you're going to live in the house is a big factor as well.
Absolutely.
So, I got preface. Go ahead. Tell me the top 5.
You wouldn't want to overbuild for the neighborhood, so you want to look where you are to start with,
okay.
and what is your house worth, and what are the neighbors' houses worth, and you don't want to be that one guy that's building your house to be the Taj Mahal, and it's surrounded by houses that are not.
Makes sense.
So you want to be smart about it, and then you want to make a list of what you actually need out of the house. I think actual walls of the house are about 11 or 12% of the cost of the house.
Okay.
So really what makes a house expensive is what you put inside. Windows are roughly $400 a piece. So, you can kind of get the idea. Once you start stepping into, I want to get level 3 granite, that's when you start spending money. In your appliance, your stuff. There's basic cost to a house, but we're all about living as you can afford it. Not having just a huge mountain of debt, because all these people that ride around with a $900,000 house and 5 cars, it's not their stuff. It belongs to the bank.
Right.
Sure. So, it's, trying to live within your means and be practical and say, we don't have to have a travertine shower right now. I'd love to one day, but right now we're going to have one we can just take a shower in, and then when we can afford it next year, we'll build one. So I would suggest just to people to do things as they can afford it, or if they have a reason to do it, like they're going to sell the house, then it would be totally reasonable to take out a mortgage against it and then fix the house up to increase the value and then sell it.
Okay.
So it's whatever they are trying to do.
So from we'll change the question a little bit. From a practical standpoint, how many people live in your household?
2.
2 people, just you and your
Mine
wife?
and my fiance.
Okay. So there's 2 people. How many bedrooms would you get when it's just you and your fiance?
1.
Just
one big bedroom. We want one big, like an open floor plan style house.
Okay.
A big bedroom, big closet, big bathroom.
So does that affect resale if you just get a 1-bedroom house?
I'm sure it does. Yeah, I'm sure that definitely limits the market of
So
people who would be interested in buying your house.
All the realtors have to call in and say, yes, don't buy a 1-bedroom house. They'll never resell.
Yeah, they probably would.
So is there a point, do you buy a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom and then, one bedroom becomes an office or 1 bedroom becomes
a lot of times.
A study or,
Right.
a guest bedroom if you have family or friends coming in town and you just need a place to crash.
Sure.
There's some value there, I'm sure, for some people.
Absolutely.
But like you said, when it comes to being practical, what's really useful, all you really need is 1 bedroom.
Yeah.
Does your wife like to cook?
Loves it.
Okay, so she probably wants a gourmet kitchen.
We want a nice kitchen,
Okay.
a really nice master bathroom, a really nice guest bathroom,
Okay.
a really big
So
bedroom.
guests, you said 1 bedroom. You don't have any room for guests.
We could have a pull-out couch.
Oh, pull-out couch. Okay, so the guests on the pull-out couch can have a shower at the shower. Okay. With that big puddle that goes right down the middle of their spine, on the sleeper sofa. Nice.
Hook them up.
That's one way to keep people out of your house.
That's right. You can stay, but just for a night.
Right, exactly. They sleep one night on that couch, they're not coming back.
That's right.
That's a ticket. Oh, there's a hotel right down the street. Perfect. All right, so you got the master bath, master bedroom, a pull-out sofa. You have a 2nd bathroom, maybe for the hallway, with a shower.
Sure.
Not a half bath, a full bath.
Right.
So 2 full baths.
Maybe even a half bath, whatever. Just
Half bath.
what you
You
need.
can shower in the sink if they need to, right? Again, they won't stay
Cowboy
long.
bath. Yeah,
That's
we're
right.
not staying long. We're not getting made in home here.
Exactly. What about, so nice kitchen. Because your wife likes
nice
to cook.
kitchen.
So that's important. So check with your wife. Does she like to cook? Invest in a gourmet kitchen, maybe a double oven, maybe some granite countertops.
Sure.
So you can
The
cook,
backsplash,
cut on
the top,
it
yeah.
nicely and so on and so
Gas
forth.
stove.
Also good for entertaining. I think that's a factor.
Definitely.
Do you entertain? Do you never entertain? Do you like to entertain? If the answer is you never entertain, don't like it, so don't worry about buying a big kitchen, just one that's practical.
Right.
That can help
Right.
you handle your 2-person cooking situations.
Sure.
And then what about living room size? Big living room, vaulted ceilings? How important is things like that?
I like high
For
ceilings.
lighting?
I like high ceilings. I like good lighting. I like natural lighting.
Okay.
Some things we're focusing on is we're going to be looking into doing like a solar roof, or possibly if we could get the land on with running water through the property, hydroelectric power. Really good insulation so that the house doesn't use a lot of power to begin with. Just trying to maybe rainwater collection.
Very good.
Yeah, trying to be more self-sustaining. If you could get to a place where maybe your house isn't enormous, but you own it, it's your house.
Right.
Then it's totally different than you can have an enormous house in Piper Glen, but it's not the same feeling. I wouldn't think.
Yeah, you're always making payments for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's just it really limits you. It makes you a slave to the system. Like if you have a $900 car payment and $300 insurance and $600 this and $2,200 mortgage and this for. All of a sudden, you have to make $5,500 a month,
Right.
and then you make fantastic money. You make $100,000 a year, but you're spending it all on bills. Like, you're not really living life, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
You're living to pay bills.
And the stress is unbelievable, too.
Yeah, you're living to make somebody else's life fantastic. So if you just have to start, take a bite off what you can chew. If we have to live in a very small house, but it's our house,
Right.
and our cars are paid for, and then we can, just take on life as we can afford it.
And you can do other things, too. You can travel.
It frees up everything, So if you're making good money and you don't have any house payment, and you don't have a car payment, and you don't have anything except for insurance, then all of a sudden you're making $100,000 a year, and you have $1,200 a month in bills, including food and everything. It totally can change your life, because then you have the opportunities to say, hey, we want to go to Belize. Hey, I'd like to go to Seychelles. We want to go travel. It gives you it affords you to be able to do that.
And I think as business owners, we all kind of fall in that trap because we want to get out of our house.
Yeah.
We want to get an office space. We want to have a
Yeah.
showroom. Some of it's for ego. Some of it's because you actually have outgrown your house. But what's happening to yourself, though, is now you're taking on additional monthly bills.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
as an entrepreneur, we all have good months and bad months.
That's right.
And some have more bad months than others, but we all have some good and some bad. And when you are overspending, those bad months become very stressful. Not only for you personally, but for your relationship and your family and so on and so forth. And so if you can live a more modest life, then on those bad months, you're still getting by just fine.
Sure.
On the good months, you
Sure.
put money away and you
Right.
can save up for some trips and do some fun things.
Exactly.
But I think as a society as a whole, we like to live beyond our means, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Some of that's something we've
It's
taught
addictive.
from our family and our parents.
It is.
Some of it's just keep up the Joneses and people
Exactly.
next door.
That's what I'm about to say.
Some of it's because we're watching reality TV and seeing, the wives of Beverly Hills, the wives of Atlanta, wives of New Jersey, all these different wives everywhere all over the country that, maybe have nicer jewelry or nicer this or nicer that, and we want to have that professional athlete lifestyle or that professional actor lifestyle, and we kind of get caught up in that, and that's a small percentage of people that are actually making that kind of income. But we got to live like them as much as we possibly can.
Well, if you're an entrepreneur, it's very expensive. And if you had money, if I gave you $500,000 cash right now to invest, you could probably take that money and turn around and turn it into $1 billion. I feel very sure that you could.
Right.
It is, but you have to have the money to be able to invest it.
Sure.
And you'll never have it if you're always spending it on monthly bills. And I've heard Stephen Furtick, as a matter of fact, was the one that said it. You're comparing your behind the scenes to somebody else's highlight reel. You see on Facebook, they got this big old house and car. They don't tell you that they have massive depression.
Right.
And so you're saying, well, I guess they look happy. That's what I need in my life. If you can look, beyond that and say, what I need in my life is money to be able to invest in my ideas.
Right.
And once I see my ideas take fruition, then I'll be able to feel success, not just financially, but in all measures of life. Like seeing your dreams take life and then provide for your life would be, I would think, the ultimate goal of success.
Definitely.
So
and keeping that stress level down, because that doesn't help anybody, and that's in my opinion, is one of the reasons why cancer is such a dominant cause of death, is because people are so stressed out and so
I agree.
Overspent that it all trickles into their life and their happiness ultimately.
I agree.
And at the same time,
Wholeheartedly.
If you work all your life and never travel, never enjoy life either, that can cause, and you're always juggling issues and always dealing with other people's problems and issues and so on, that can cause the same kind of stress. So it's life balance.
It's a balance.
It's a life balance.
Yeah. Adulting.
And I think finding the right partner as well that understands your mentality
definitely
is a big factor too. Sometimes we try
100%.
and overly impress our significant other, or whether it be a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be, even fiancés, and they put us in a system where we're living beyond our means as well.
Yeah.
And maybe we start off that way when we started doing all the serenading and all the courting, as we tried to give them the world.
Sure.
And in reality, we couldn't afford the world at that time, but we tried to impress them, and that's what won them over. But now we're trying to keep impressing them as time goes on. That can catch up with you pretty quickly as well.
I agree.
So lots of great points. And I think a fellow entrepreneur can understand the importance of keeping it real, getting what you need, and then as your resources grow, you can then
invest. It's planting
get a
seeds
bigger
for your
house
future.
at that point, where you can modify, or you can add on to your house and take
Agreed.
things on a little bit at a time, versus going from what you really need to something that you really just want, and causing all kinds of problems as a result.
Sure.
So I think it's a great topic, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to have one more segment because we haven't had a chance to talk about this nonprofit yet. So you're listening to the Perky Collar Radio Show. We're going to take one more break, and we'll be right back with Corbin Thomas. And we've talked a lot about today his home improvement company, and we're looking forward to learning about his nonprofit after the break.